is going on out there, peeps? Alrighty, towards the end of last year, I was looking forward to and finally had a chance to interview Gunther Sonnenfeld. And the interview was wonderful. Now, I could not play the whole interview on YouTube, as you can understand. There were some things on there that were talked about that is a no-no on YouTube. But I was able to come through and edit out some parts of the conversation we had and share it with you guys. From the bigger interview, I was able to produce a handful of YouTube videos. So I was grateful for that. But under the videos, I forgot to include the link for you guys to reach out to Gunther. He's got his own website. I went back to the videos and I did post a link down there. And there will be one underneath this video. Talk about embarrassing. I should have done that in the first place. And to be quite honest with you, I thought I did. I swear I'm getting Alzheimer's, man. Anyway, so all the videos now have Gunther's website on there. If you guys, because some of you are saying you're interested in learning more about him, as you should. He's a very interesting man, and he touches on a lot of subjects that I absolutely love. So I look forward to having him on the show again. Maybe I could talk him into doing a live show. You guys can come on and ask questions while I have him on the line. We'll see where it goes. I know he's a very busy man, but if we can make that happen, I think that'll be really enjoyable. Just a friendly reminder, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Now is the time to buy gold and silver. Silver and gold still moving up, even getting, they got a little thumped on today, but nothing major. It was minor, and it rebounded. So if you're going to buy gold and silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So like I do for all NESARA, GESARA, I meant to do this much more earlier, as you guys can understand. This has not been the best start of a year for me. 2 strikes from YouTube, back to back. I lost my mother, then I lost my sister, then I lost my stepbrother. So it's just been really super crazy, and I apologize for that. I'm trying to stay upbeat and motivated to just get some videos out there, not to mention the fact that YouTube decides of all times now to screw with me. But if you guys want to see the videos that I did with Gunther, go to my channel, go to the search, put in Gunther, and all of them will pop up. So underneath there, they should have the link to his website, which is right here. It's his name.com. Gunther Sonnenfeld. GUNTHERSONNENFELD.com. I encourage every single one of you to come over and check this out. There is a ton of information on here. Lots of information that you could benefit from. Plus, this gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the things that Gunther is into. So the link will be down below in the description. Just click it, come on over here and check it out. So I'm going to come down here and look at the comments, respond to them, and any questions that you might have, like I normally do when I do the Q&As. All right, North Coast Lake Erie. That's one of those lakes I always wanted to go fishing on. I was a pro bass fisherman for a little bit and actually won on my 30th birthday. That's the last tournament I went to. I won, I was all happy, yeah, just never went back. So, let's see here. Will we see silver skyrocket soon because of the QFS? Will us poor folk who have been stacking become wealthy? All I really want is to pay the cash for a nice home so I don't have to work every day for the rest of my life. Here's the thing that I want to talk about, North Coast, if you don't mind. Here's the thing. We know that the markets are manipulated. We know this. Stock market, crypto market, gold and silver market. They are being manipulated. The government is hoping that they can hold up this mess that they created of an economy. For the first time, and not just our history, but around the world, we are looking at bubbles in real estate, bonds, stock market, and cryptocurrencies, all sitting in bubbles. And we saw what happened when one bubble broke during the housing crisis. But this is a thing that's going on worldwide. One thing that we've been talking about when it comes to gold and silver is they are not moving the way they should according to the news that we are seeing about our economy, about inflation. Based on what we know already, gold and silver should both be up there. But every time they remotely start to take off, they get squashed back down. Now, we can sit and fuss about it all day. It doesn't do any good. The truth of the matter is people can only get away with as much as we allow them to. And apparently we love our government being corrupt because we absolutely don't do crap about it. Now, having gotten that out of my way, here's the thing. I've been listening to people talk about gold and silver now for a long time. As a person that collected coins, a numismatic collector, I've been hearing people talk about gold and silver and the value of it taken off for well over 15 years. And rightfully so. As time went on and I started educating myself about what I needed to know about gold and silver, you start to realize there's things you could watch for, habits that you see, the way they talk, watch what they do, not what they say, stuff like that. Gold and silver should already be up there. At the very worst case scenario, gold should be sitting somewhere around $5,000 an ounce right now. That's in the worst case scenario. I shouldn't say that's in the worst case scenario because obviously where we are is the worst case scenario. Look, anybody and everybody that's, you guys know if you've been listening to my videos for a while, I tell you, I love listening to the different analysts talk about gold and silver, but truly, I love listening to historians talk about how the economy and gold and silver move together, behavioral things, stuff like that. So not to go on a long rant, all I can tell you is this. Let's answer your questions, okay? Gold and silver should have already skyrocketed. With Basel III now in effect, with the markets getting ready to explode, with tapering happening, with inflation going up, with interest rate hikes coming, yeah, you better be in gold and silver. As soon as they even start to remotely think hike in interest rates takes place, you're going to see what happens to the stock market. Now, what I'm curious about is how cryptocurrencies are going to respond because they've never been in a market crisis. No, they've never been in a recession. We don't know how they're going to behave, but I am curious to keep an eye on them. Is silver and gold going to skyrocket because of the QFS? No, they're going to skyrocket because they've been held down for so long, and the true value eventually is going to have to come out. With all the money that we've printed, all the money, our money supply is so outrageous and out of control that the only way they're going to be able to get out of this debt that they put themselves in, because obviously quantitative easing isn't working, they're going to have to revalue gold and silver. Will us poor folk who have been stacking become wealthy? Well, it depends on your definition of what wealthy is. Say, look, you just want to be able to put cash down on a nice home, so you don't have to work every day for the rest of your life. And I understand it. This is why if you're a stacker of silver because you can't afford gold, pay attention to the gold to silver ratio. Right now, it's way out of whack. Right now is the best time to buy silver, the poor man's gold. But as that gap closes, that ratio closes, then you should consider swapping your ounces of silver over for gold. Because silver prices shoot up and then they drop just as quick. Well, I mean drop. I don't mean like bottom out and you lose everything. No, but they will retract. Gold goes up slow and comes down slow. And then you just hold it. And then when the time comes, you can go ahead and sell it. Or if, like you said, you want to buy a house, then good, it's a good move. Sell your silver and get the house. You'd be surprised, depending on how much silver you stacked, because what I'm noticing is this. I remember, about a year and a half ago, when actually I've been telling people now since, 2018, almost religiously, to start buying gold and silver. But if you've been watching my channel for a while now, and you jumped on that bandwagon back then, you're probably one of the people like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to get enough silver. Oh, it's going to happen any day. Well, it should have happened any day. It didn't. But here's the great thing about that. It's both good and bad. It depends on your point of view. The bad is it hasn't happened. The good is, fine, I'll just keep stacking. I never feel like I have enough. And that's because I know what's coming up. So the QFS system, I told you guys this story many times. Look, I bugged my friend. He works for the government. I got more than one friend there, but this one here is the one that if there's any reality to this thing, he would know about it. So I reached out to him. He said he had no clue what I was talking about. So I thought, okay, this thing isn't real. Then it just happens a couple months later. Me and him had this nice long conversation. And before I got off the phone, he said, wait a minute. He said, that thing you're asking about, that quantitative financial system. I said, yeah, what about it? He goes, it's real. It exists. I was like, what? Give me some kind of information. Give me something. But he was in a hurry, and I never did get anything from him. And I haven't bugged him, to be quite honest with you. So you guys know, instead of going out there saying the thing is not real, I came back and said, look, I was wrong. I made a boo-boo. It's real. But unfortunately, I have no way to prove it to you guys. So now I've been bending my butt backwards trying to prove it. But there's so many people out there using the QFS system as a scam to get money from people. So you got to be very careful. I released a video today about that. So what's Benji saying? I've heard of the QFS since Charlie Ward, which I'm grateful and hopeful it's true. Wait, I've heard of the QFS since Charlie Ward. I think what you're saying, you heard about the QFS from Charlie Ward, which you're very grateful and hopeful it's true. But I've always hated, I'm under a military NDA, so can't say much more, leaving us hanging. But yes, has insider club. We sincerely appreciate the research, Pimpy, you're doing to help us all hopefully gain a better understanding. Moving forward, all you guys need to get along. Oh, I get along with everybody, but if I think somebody's out there taking advantage of individuals in the wrong way, yeah, I'll say something about it. But other than that, I mean, look, everybody does their own thing on their own show. I mean, I'm no angel. She's, no, actually, I am, to be honest with you, but just teasing. Look, we all have faults. The difference is some of us aren't afraid to say when we're wrong. Okay? And others of us might take advantage of little old ladies, people who have really put their faith and trust in you, and then you start really doing some questionable things, okay? So the truth of the matter is I don't hate anybody out there. There's people that I dislike. I don't like Russell J. Full, but that's because I know him. Not me. I just stay consistent and grounded. I'm not going to sit here and lie about clones and zombies and everything else. I just don't do that. And you guys know this. And sometimes that's not easy for people to hear. So when somebody brings something to my attention, I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. But understand, it's just my opinion. But also try to back up everything I'm talking about. I show you the receipts. That's not happening in YouTube world in the arena that we're playing in. Do you think if the day the QFS comes online, we will see the debt relief and we as Americans will get a payout or a payback of the stolen tax and hidden taxes we all have paid? Also, how would the revalue of goods be lowered? So, yeah, I heard all these stories about this is what the QFS is going to do. So, I can confirm that the QFS system is real, but all the stories that are attached to it, like whether the debt's going to be forgiven or anything else like that, I've not heard anything about that I can prove. And you guys know I only talk about the things that I can prove. Now, if you guys watch my GESARA videos, you see that I am not like other people. I try to bring information to you that I think is useful that you can use or might enjoy. So when I spoke about debt relief, people like to bring up all the time that my student loan was forgiven. It was. But I also said in the video several times, I don't know if you want to call it NESARA or just whatever. Does the name make a difference? All that mattered was that I knew several people who had their student loans forgiven. Don't assume that it's part of a GESARA. I mean, look, it was hard not to. I'm being honest. When I first saw that my debt was gone, and then my wife's at the time, hers was gone, and I was like, whoa. Then people in my group were like, my credit card debt's paid off. I was like, there might be something to this. But to me, I don't care about the name, whether it's NESARA, GESARA, or whatever, debt jubilee. All that matters is the people being freed of the debt. They need that burden lifted, especially after the government helped create it. So will all Americans get paid out? We should. But I have not seen, and this is what happens. And I end up being, the sourpuss, because I tell people, look, the truth of the matter is, once I found out that the QF system was real, I've been doing what I can to try to prove it. Gunther talked about it during our interview. If you guys have any more questions, maybe I can ask him when I have him on the show next when it comes to the QFS system, if he's willing to talk about it. But as far as everything else is concerned, yeah, I found nothing about cryptocurrencies being ran on the QFS system. I know that's the rumor, that's the story, and they're all backed by precious metals. There's nothing out there that indicates that I found anyways. Now, what you have is a bunch of fraudulent created websites that say that, but I'm just being honest with you. I want something. If I'm going to come report something to you, especially something that exciting, I'm going to make damn sure it's real. Last thing I need is to ruin my credibility. There's a lot of people out there that have ruined their own credibility. So if me being credible means that sometimes I'm going to say something that you guys don't like, then be it. But you guys will, I hope you guys respect the fact that, you might not like what I'm saying, but one thing's for sure. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt, and I'm not going to lie to you guys about stuff. I'm going to do my dangdest to prove something one way or the other, period. No more money laundering or hiding transfers with the system. About time. So here's the thing about that. That's also the same thing that's going to be happening with the central bank's digital currency. So what I'm concerned about is there might be some people from the opposite team, if you get my drift, the black cats, I guess it would be the name, that might be creating profiles and going out there and telling people, hey, this is what's going on, to get you guys mentally prepared for the central bank digital currency. So what I'm saying to you is this: just be careful. Make sure you know the difference between the Great Reset and their central bank digital currency and the QFS system and whatever monetary system they're bringing. I did do a video, you guys, you saw this. There is a quantum blockchain, and they are fitting Ethereum to run on that platform. I didn't see if there's any other cryptos on there. It just said Ethereum. That's all I can show you so far. You guys saw it. I left you guys the article. So at least we know there's a quantum. And somebody said to me, hey, at least we know there's a quantum platform for cryptos coming out. Somebody said, hey, Pimpy, do you think that's the part of the QFS system? And in the beginning, I said, don't try to force them together. But the more I thought about it, you see me say in the video, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, come on now. Quantum technology, quantum financial, quantum blockchain. If they're all part of the same system, then it makes sense. The quantum financial system would have quantum technology plugged into it, whether it's cryptocurrencies or another form of currency. MedBeds for Humanity project. Training on the MedBeds. Are there certain banks, wealth management only, going to be for the RV? Which foreign currency? So here's a couple of things. I've done videos about MedBeds. And one of them you could test for free. Now, I have not got, I think I missed my opportunity, and I have reached back out to him because I did receive a phone call back and I missed it, and I tried to reach back and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. But here's the thing. Come to find out that a lot of you guys have already tried it. So I'm curious if that helped you in any way, shape, or form. Now, wealth management. Look, the last thing we want to do is all of a sudden the QFS happens, and sure enough, all of our debt's paid off and we get some kind of payment. Let's just say that happens, okay? You're not going to turn around then and go to a wealth management banker, are you? I mean, think about it. They're the reasons why we got into the trouble that we have in the first place. That's something to think about. Now, as far as which foreign currencies revaluing, here's my thing. We all know that a global currency reset has already started. Now, what the finished product is, I have no idea. Where is the exchange rates going to be? We don't have no idea, but I will tell you this. I do remember, and I did play this on a video, Trump said that all currencies should be 1-to-1. And I agree with that. And I think that's being spoken about. I do pay attention to what's going on with the IMF and the World Bank and the Bank of International Settlement. I mean, not like I'm obsessed with them and I have to see what they say every day, but from time to time, I will find articles about them. I look up on their websites things about debt forgiveness. I know that's being talked about. I could tell you that, right? I've said this in other videos. We know that the leaders of the world right now are trying to figure out whether or not they want to do some type of total debt forgiveness. So I did show you that that's at least being spoken about. Let's hope it happens. Brian Sullivan. Good evening, Brother Pimpy. What's up, my brother? I would like to have you ask Gunther if there are going to be funds available to us when the system comes online. Not just the exchange funds, and what is, if any information on the birth certificates having any value. So I know the story about the birth certificates, and I absolutely think there's something there, but trusting these people who are in power that we allowed to get there To get them to part with the money is another story altogether. Now, I know you guys have been told that once the QFS system comes online, then bam, whammy, just like that, you guys get this money. I know the QFS system is out there, but I don't know. I have not found anything so far that links up all the other stories that you heard. I don't know if there's going to be cryptocurrencies backed by precious metals on there. There's nothing out there that says that outside of people who create vlogs and posts. That's it. I'm talking about any official information that I can share. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean it is going to happen. What I'm saying is I just don't have anything that I can give to you that would validate that. Does that make sense? That's what I want to do. So when I come to you with some information, I want to be able to validate it. So that I'm not just saying, hey, we're guessing on this, and then, next thing you know, it comes back to haunt you and me. What is the holdup on the QFS actually coming into fruition? Well, according to everybody out there in the world, it's already been running, it's already happening. But I know the QF system is out there, but the QFS system that I've been able to validate has nothing to do with all the stories that you heard. I can tell you that in a video that I did, I said, look, this is the real QFS system. Stored in the basement of AIIS, which is controlled by China. And everybody's like, no, Pimpy, no, they're white hats, gray hats. I was like, nah, see, that's the thing. I get it. I know these people tell you these stories. I'm sorry. I'm not the one that tells you these stories. I'm the one that says, look, this is what we can prove. We can expand on a thought that something might go in a certain direction. But unless I can give you proof, and I hope you guys appreciate this, unless I can give you actual proof of its existence, and I'm not just talking about the QFS system. I'm talking about anything that we talk about. Whether it's med beds, whether it's, flying monkeys, whether it's released technology, something like that, whatever it is, money coming to our bank accounts, unless I can absolutely bring it to you with proof, then I'm just going to say, look, right now to me, it's just a story. It's just a rumor. Until it could be proven, that's all it is. I'm not trying to deflate people's hopes. That's not what I want to do. What I'm saying is, I myself cannot prove that part. That doesn't mean it's not real. That just means I have not been able to locate any real evidence of what you guys are talking about. Not yet. I keep looking though, just so you're aware. Like I said in the video I released today about the QFS system. And that is, I don't know if anybody out there has made more videos about the QFS. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people out there with a ton of QFS videos. But what I mean by that is, look at all the different websites and all the different things that are brought to your guys' attention about the QFS system, which is unique. Pimp Snizzle, what is up? Thank you for the wonderful efforts. Please keep up the good work. Don't always agree with your points of view, but I respect the heck out of you for having the strength to disagree with the masses. Yeah, it's not always easy, man. There is a part of me, just so you know, let me expand this here, because if Gunther does have a chance to look at this, hopefully he can, what I'll do is I'll see if I can, I'll send this to him for you and see if I can get some answers for you. Okay? But yeah, see, it's kind of hard because I know some people out there, they are hurting. Whether it's they need medical help, whether they need money, finances, just something, food, job. We know people are out there hurting. And when I listen to people and you can hear the hurt and pain in them, they just want to get out from underneath the water. They want to be able to get their head above the water again. So when I hear that, I'm wussified a little bit. I mean, it hits me emotionally because I really do care. You can understand why being honest with my opinions about these subject matters isn't always easy, because there's a part of me that does want you to feel hopeful and not to give up. I hope what I'm saying is, I hope what I say or bring to your attention doesn't shatter any of your hope or doesn't keep you from being hopeful. Like I just said, when it comes to any subject matters, what I'm saying to you is I have not personally found anything that proves a lot of what people are talking about. That just means I haven't found it yet if it's out there. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, if you get my drift. But I do appreciate the kind words. It's not easy. Is NESARA legit? And if so, will it be a reality by year's end? Also, will foreign currencies be revalued, IQD, ZIM, Dong, so holders can exchange them for profit? So a little while ago, I just mentioned that there's no doubt that right now there is a global currency reset taking place. We're watching currencies all around the world crash. There's no doubt about it. So what does that mean? Who knows? Maybe they are allowing all of the currencies to just crash, so we can start from a blank slate. What's history tell us about huge monetary policy changes? And that is they crashed the existing system and then introduced the new system. And what that is, there's a lot of speculation out there. I can tell you that. A lot of it does line up. A lot of these people with their opinions do line up with one another. To be on the safe side, that's why I do hold more gold and silver than anything else. I do own IQD, and I do own Vietnam Dong and the Iranian Rial. That's all I have. And I don't hold a lot of it. People are surprised to find out. I only hold about 4 or 5 million of each one of them. The IQD is going to go up in value. There's no doubt about it. But relying on some kind of RI or RV to be announced, there's nothing out there that says that's going to happen. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. What I'm saying is there are other things that we can keep an eye on, that I keep telling people in my videos, that we can keep an eye on, that we know if these things happen, the value of the currency is going to go up. And that's the same with any of them. So if you just hang tight, I know a lot of you have been waiting for years and years. You've been hearing all these stories of people blowing smoke up your butt. That's not me. I don't do that. I stay grounded. We all want the same thing. Trust me, we do. We're all in the same boat trying to get to the same destination. We just got to continue to oar in the same direction. All right. I think we are in the middle of a global currency event. I do think we're in the middle of a global currency reset, whether it's through cryptocurrencies, whether it's through the central bank digital currency, whether it's a combination of a paper currency with gold and silver. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but history tells us that whenever we switch the monetary system, before that happens, we move back into gold and silver. We don't want to allow our government to remove us out of the gold standard, because then that gives them permission to print all kinds of money. So that's why I feel like gold and silver is really going to take off. There's too much money out there in the first place. Yeah, again, gold and silver prices under the QFS. So I have not found anything out there that gives me an indication one way or another that gold and silver is going to be affected by the QFS system. I mean, it makes sense to me, but there's nothing out there that says that, because it's a new system. There's nothing to measure it against. And I just don't have anything tangible I can answer that question with. But we know finally Basel III is kicked in. We are watching gold and silver like a hawk. We see these patterns. We see how they're manipulating it. We also see they're out there pushing people into riskier assets while they themselves buy up all the gold and silver. I'm talking about the cabal, or whatever you want to call them. Watch what they do, not what they say. You can see silver has been on a pretty good path. But what the heck happened? So on the 14th, it started this downtrend. Every time silver gets anywhere near $24, if that sucker really gets up there, it will take off. But it has to stay up there consistently. And every time it gets anywhere near there, look at what happens. So it goes from around $24, and they drop it all the way down here to $23.08. Although it's rebounded back to $23.32, which is good, but they're going to try their damnedest to make sure it does not get above 24, because it's going to run, and there's nothing they could do to stop it once it gets going. We're already seeing signs of that. You can see the same thing here with gold. Look, it's like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. But same thing. Look at this is on the 15th. Here we are at 1879. I told you once it got around to 1864 to go, and they are making sure it's not going to take off. Look at it, 1878, and it dropped all the way down here to 1847. Although it's up a little bit, gold getting anywhere near 2,000. Once word gets out on both gold and silver, if gold's around 2,000, then people will start switching back into gold. If silver starts getting up above 24, people are going to start running back over to silver, and it's going to cause a squeeze again, which we should do in the first place. Philly girls, I'm looking forward to this interview. Will we go back to the gold back system, the gold standard? Here's the thing. That's up to us, not our government. That's up to us. So if we want it bad enough, then we demand it, because they work for us. We don't work for them. I'm talking about our politicians. So I know that sounds really simplistic, but that's just the God truth right there. They can only get away with as much as we allow. And every day they get pushier and pushier towards being in a position of power that pretty soon, if something's not done, then it's going to be too late. Now, I think momentum has changed. A lot of things are going in a good direction. That's just my opinion. Is it my understanding that everyone will have a QFS account assigned to them, presumably using your social security number? So, again, I've heard about these stories, but I have not found any type of proof of that existence. That doesn't mean it's not real. I'm just saying I've not found that outside of stories that YouTubers are blowing around. Gomez, question 1. Are the China super petro bonds be redeemable? What are the China super petro bonds? Oh God, are you telling me this is what they're doing now? Are they trying to sell you guys super petro bonds? So I do think this is the direction that we're at least trying to go into, which is cryptocurrencies. Again, that would compete with the central bank's digital currency. And these are the corrupt people who want to keep control of us. So it's just a matter of who wins out in this. But right now, cryptocurrencies are way more popular than the central bank digital currency. And then that $10,000, $15,000, of course, I'm just making that number up, you guys. But all of a sudden, then that $10,000, $15,000 isn't worth it, is it? When you lose everything. So Gomez, let me look into this a little bit more. But if it's a true bond, then all bonds are redeemable at the maturity of it. Once it matures, so I don't see why you couldn't redeem it if there is such a thing. Will the old Zim notes become exchangeable? I don't know, because I told everybody that they're obsolete, and then all of a sudden everybody's pissy at me about it. They want me to continue blowing smoke up your butt like the other people were doing. Sorry, I told you guys the truth, and that is those currencies are obsolete. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean you should burn them up. Just put them to the side and let's see what happens. You already have them. There's nothing you can do about it at the moment, but I also told you that if you have those in great condition, they're worth a ton to collectors because there wasn't very many Series A's that came out. So if you send them in and get them graded, they're selling for like $275, man. That's crazy. How does the ISO 222 fit in all the precious metals back QFS? It doesn't, because the ISO 222 is just a messaging system. That's the new Swift 2.0. That's not the QFS system. ISO 222 is Swift 2.0. Is the QFS a great reset in disguise? You know, Kathleen, that has crossed my mind. It has. No money laundering, no terrorists getting the money, being able to keep an eye on every single transaction that's out there. In other words, people are willing to sacrifice their liberties for security. And you know the story. If once you sacrifice one for the other, you'll soon lose them both. So yeah, that has actually crossed my mind. And I'm seeing so many people out there using it to commit fraud too, which is not cool. The QFS stories I'm talking about. Do fiat money loans get removed under QFS? So you guys, I know you guys hear all these different stories about the QFS. The way I talk about the QFS is different than others. I can tell when somebody might be a newbie because they'll ask that question. I have been trying to debunk the QFS system or prove its existence for a long time now. I can debunk most of the info that's out there about the QFS because they just lie to you. They make up stories, they lie. But I've also been told that the QFS system is real, and the person I know is very credible because he's a friend of mine, and he does work for the government. Now, he doesn't have any info because he only heard it in passing, and then he relayed the information to me. So I don't have any real information. Now, I did the interview with Gunther, and he spoke about the QFS. My channel, and just in the search bar, put Gunther and listen to what he has to say about the QFS system. So a lot of people ask me this question all the time. Will NESARA GESARA actually be instituted? Well, it depends, I guess, on who you're hearing it from, because some people say it's already happened. You already hear all these different stories. Now, here's my whole opinion on NESARA GESARA, and that is, I don't know if there's going to be an official NESARA GESARA announcement. As much as we would love to hear that, I don't know if there's going to be an official announcement. What we all should be really focusing on, that's even more important than the name, are the items that are on here and making sure these get accomplished. Now, I've done videos showing you that a lot of these have already been actually accomplished, but there's no official announcement of NESARA GESARA. A lot of these were in the process at the time. I'm going to go back and start updating these, but also if I find anything that can help you out that's related to it, like student loan debt, I did a video showing everybody I share the resources that I get and I put them in videos so you guys can have access to them. Don't sit around all day waiting for some magical announcement to help get your butt out of trouble. You got to help yourself too. There are resources out there that cover a lot of these things that are on here. So when I find them, I share them. But that video on Bum Run Grad, I have to go back and respond to your guys' questions because there's a few of you guys that hit me up through personal messaging, and I might get you guys to come on and give your testimony about it. Because come to find out, a lot of people knew about this and they went there for heart surgery, leg surgery, the whole 9 yards. So the items on the list are way more important, okay, than a name or an announcement of NESARA GESARA. We want our money back from these tyrants. Deborah, I couldn't agree more. But you don't have to wait for some magical computer system to come up and do that. You can actually have the power and get enough people together, and they get enough people, and they get more, and so on and so on. We're seeing what's happening in Canada. You can see that starting to grow worldwide. That's what we should be doing. That's why I said, when it comes to that NESARA GESARA list, man, now is the time more than ever. If you guys are out there at those protests, bring that as a flyer, start handing it out. Get people to support that change, and you guys can make it happen. And we can all make it happen. Is XRP going to be funding the QFS, and would you recommend investing in it? Everybody knows how I feel about Ripple and XRP. There are 5 cryptos that are, I think 7 now, 7 cryptos that are ISO 222 compliant. Each one of them is contributing to a different part of the development of the central bank digital currency. And who is the central bank digital currency? That is the New World Order. The ISO 222 is the new SWIFT 2.0. And XRP and all of them are on there. Now, you can look at this one or two ways. So if you want to give up your money to help support those cryptos, and then that money is used to help design the tools necessary to enslave us, then by all means, give them your money, and maybe you'll get something back in return as an investment. Does that make sense? But for the longest time, we've been hearing, oh, XRP to the moon, oh, XRP and QFS. Ooh, no, XRP. There's no cryptos related to the QFS system at the moment. There's no proof of it. The only proof that I found is that quantum blockchain technology is adapting Ethereum. That's as close as I got to any proof that's anything out there like that. But, it's your own personal prerogative. You know that saying, if you get in bed with the devil, well, then you might get burned. I just made that up, actually. So, look, you guys, here's the thing. I know there's a bunch of YouTubers out there blowing smoke up your butt, messing with your emotions, messing with your mind. Because the stuff that they're promising and the stuff that they keep saying every day, who doesn't want that kind of world? We all do. We all want to get rid of our debt. We all just want to live our lives peacefully. Enjoy the rest of our days. Has governments been screwing us over? Yes. They've been doing it for decades. Are they criminals? Yes. We already know this. But they're that way because of us. It's our fault. We fell asleep at the wheel. We allow schools to start teaching our kids, and we stop paying attention to the homework. Now, I'm generally speaking. I understand there's people out there that absolutely pay attention. I'm just generally speaking, okay? But somewhere along the lines, we stopped sitting down at the dinner table, asking our kids how their day went, what are they learning in school, and because of this, schools have gotten way out of control with all the stupid subjects that they're out there teaching. They've radicalized most of our kids. Never in my lifetime thought I would see so many people support openly communism and socialism. Wow. So, yes, I get it. There's a lot of people out there making you guys all kinds of promises and talking about how there's these bonds and gold back this and this is going to happen. But they have no proof. They have zero proof. And when you ask them for the proof, what do they always say? Oh, the NDA. Oh, my top secret military handshake and decoder ring. No, people. Start demanding evidence. Especially for those of you who are paying for anything that these people are saying. Anyways, that's it for now, man. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And I will catch you later. I'm out.